Hi there guys, good afternoon, hope you're all well. Mike Graham here from SME Skills Academy, and what I want to talk to you guys in today's value added video is the concept of trigger words, okay? Trigger words. So trigger words are lines, sentences that sales professionals use when they're pitching in their sales pitch, in their process, that kind of trigger the next part of the conversation. And the reason they're so important is because when we're pitching prospects, and we've all been there, I've been there, you've probably been there if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a salesperson, where we get lost in the conversation, right? Because we're talking to the prospect about something and something comes up and something else comes up and then we go off on a tangent and before we know it, who knows what's going on, right? So trigger words are lines that you can use, and you use them regularly in your sales pitch. It's almost like acting, right? If you think about being a professional actor, right? It's like your cue. It's like someone's giving you a cue where, boom, this is said, this happens, here's where I go. So I'll give you an example of one of my trigger words. You know, why not? So when I'm pitching at prospects, and I mean it when I say it, is I'll say to a prospect, look, whether you work with us or not, this is what you need to do. But that line, whether you work with us or not, in my mind, when I'm selling, when I'm pitching, it tells me that this is the part where I'm going to add value, where I'm going to say something that this person needs to do that's going to help them grow their business, right? So the reason I'm talking about this is because you've got to have those trigger words. You've got to have these, you know, for example, how do you start a conversation? How do you flow through the conversation? And these trigger words, these trigger sentences could be all sorts. It could be all sorts. So it could be, for example, I quite like to teach my prospects and teach clients that before to close, you want to qualify the prospect. You can go, look, before I explain how we're going to work together, do you have any questions? What are your thoughts, right? So we have these lines scattered. You should have these lines sort of scattered throughout your sales process. And it's not about becoming robotic. It's not about that. It's about having these lines scattered and sentences scattered throughout your sales process, throughout your sales pitch, so that you know, right, this line's been said, this cue's happened, when I'm moving on to the next part of my pitch, when I'm moving on to the next part of my process. And what these trigger sentences, trigger words will really help you to do is they'll really help you to keep to your structure, keep to your pitch in the heat of the moment, when you're getting excited, when your prospect is getting excited, when you think, wow, we're getting on great here. That's when your trigger words come in, and that's when you move it to the next stage. Because if you don't have these trigger words, what happens a lot of times is people elongate their sales pitch, they elongate their sales process, and then they end up pitching their way out of the sale. Okay, so it's very important to have these trigger words, very important to have these trigger lines. If you've got some questions on it, listen, ping a comment in this video. It's a short video. I just wanted to talk to you guys about trigger words and trigger sentences today. But listen, if you like the video, please like it, please share it, please comment on the video. Let me know what your trigger sentences, let me know what your trigger words are. It'd be great to build a library of trigger words and trigger sentences. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Have a fantastic day, and I look forward to speaking to you all again very soon.